like to welcome everybody to our FlexPod Refresh webinar. If you listen throughout our session, please feel free to use the Q&A panel you'll find on the lower right side of your screen. If it's open for you, find it as a button in the upper right side of the screen. You just click on that, open that Q&A pod, and that's how you can just type in your questions today and send it over to us. We appreciate everybody joining in today, and at this time, I'll go ahead and turn the call over to our main.
Welcome to the Logicalis Insights webinar, everyone. Our topic today is FlexPod Refresh. Is Brad Bailey, a solutions architect with Logicalis US, where he's responsible for helping IT customers design next-generation data centers, leveraging converged and hyper-converged infrastructure for their applications and services. He assists clients in planning, developing, and implementing infrastructure solutions that address their business challenges by modernizing customers' processes and procedures. In this role, Brad directs strategic plans for Google implementation and operation of all client service, product support, quality assurance, and training. Let's start our agenda. In today's webinar, Brad will discuss FlexPod today, and he'll look at Logicalis' commitment to FlexPod and the market successes of FlexPod. His FlexPod enhancements, FlexPod lifecycle journey offerings, and potential next steps. I'd like to hand the presentation over to our speaker, Brad Bailey.
I'd like to thank everybody for joining today. We know this is an investment of your time in Logicalis, and Cisco and App are glad that you joined our webinar today. So first, I'd like to explain Logicalis' commit to FlexPod. Since the introduction of FlexPod, Logicalis actually selling FlexPod before it became FlexPod. So today we have solution architects trained, over 75 throughout the U.S., and we host a delivery team that's trained and installed FlexPods. Since today, we have over 150 installations of our FlexPod customers today, and continues to grow. If FlexPod is today an industry, today they have over 6,000 FlexPod customers. They're either in the Magic Quadrant for converged infrastructure and 100 validated Cisco validated designs. And those are about actually making applications work like SAP, Oracle, Exchange, VR, Hyper-V, to really improve your performance of your application in your data center. Years, FlexPod has been out. They recently did a study. If you could see on the screen, that FlexPod had a very satisfactory feeling for customers. So, 6,300 customers surveyed, almost 2% of customers were satisfied with FlexPod. And why, as the enhancements have come out and over the last 5 years things have improved, the architecture remains to what it was to begin with. It's still easy to maintain, easy to use. And with the addition of the all-flash product app, the ability to have performance in your data center, optimize your use environment, and actually get maximum performance out of your infrastructure, while still increasing your agility, registration, reduce your time to market, and being able to synchronize your data to a DR site or the cloud. Benefits of FlexPod is basically the scale-out architecture that it creates. They have built-in backup capabilities, it's cloud-ready, and it has low cost of maintenance. So it's easy to put in your infrastructure. In the all-flash offering optimizes your environment. Integrating with dedupe and compression being able to scale up and scale out in the center as needed, and the ability to offer secure multi-tenancies. The quality of service on the array allows you to maximize the performance of the array while making sure no one overruns the array, causing any performance issues from the noisy neighbor. And then to manage data from your on-prem solution up to the cloud, all in a FlexPod environment. Reasons people are choosing FlexPod today, but are basically because they want to optimize their applications. Growing business demands require performance. Flash gives that performance for you. It makes your environment a lot simple. It's easier to manage when you're able to have hybrid, being able to use Flash as your media. You need to worry about storage bottlenecks or what type of storage here you put the data on. It will allow you to then move into a hybrid cloud model and be able to move data back and forth to a cloud if required for performance reasons or for scalability reasons. An all-flash array from NetApp, they do 20 times faster for your storage performance, which is amazing if you think about it, and 200 times faster for SQL responses. So test performed. That actually broke the benchmark for the world record with a 12-node cluster using SQL. It was 1.2 million IOPS, I believe. Also, to put servers faster, to clone your servers, to provision your servers, to use server templates to provision servers in the UCS environment, drastically reduces your time to market. You can put a server in 5 minutes, an server with FlexPod. So building and hitting the enter button. Why is great, especially talking about an all-flash. Most customers recognize that in 17 months. The ability to upgrade your controller. After the 3rd year, NetApp will give you a free controller, which we'll talk about in a little bit. Performance, the disk has just been coming down, and with deduping compression, it's about level out to where the price is about the same. So NetApp in the flash market. Dell Technologies, number 1, and NetApp is creeping up. So not too long ago, NetApp wasn't even on this chart. In 12 months, they became 2nd in all flash market share. Growth is 120%. So known AFF market, and we'll continue to do so. We see more customers moving to all flash because it makes sense for pricing. And what all flash gives you, it only gives you performance. So if you look at the chart, you can see that our performance in the all flash array is right at 534,000 operations on an Oracle test here. That's a millisecond response time. But today, it's the 1 millisecond response time that make applications happy. So if you go in your environment, Exchange, SQL, and Flash product added to your FlexPod would make your workload response time probably by 120%, if not more. Apple loves the fast response time, and users will be very happy going all flash. It offers a 4-to-1 guarantee for compression using deduping compression. So to use the benefits of Flash. This is inline. It writes it and compresses it before it goes to disk. The efficiencies, and you're able to use snapshot technology such as clones. Environment. So you're able to buy a quarter of the disk in solid state to get performance that you need for your application. So if you need 100 terabytes, you really only need to buy 25 terabytes of storage in an all-flash array. You have advantage with an all-flash array is a free controller upgrade. So you can purchase a 6-year maintenance contract, and after 3 years, you would get a free controller upgrade, non-disruptively. You would buy 3 years of support up front, and then the third year, you could renew for another 3 years if you wanted, and you would get free controllers, again, non-disruptive upgrades to put in your system into the next generation of seed memory that are in the controllers. So that benefit of a total of 6 years. The life of your system 6 years is unheard of today. A great way to protect your investment for the future. Life cycle of a FlexPod, it's important to keep in that it is a life cycle, and you want to make sure that you're making decision points along the way. Whether in a 3-year, 5-year, 7 cycle, you do have and make sure that you're following a life cycle through these products. Is you don't have to do the lift and replace like a lot of people are used to every 3 years. You can upgrade individually units to meet your performance requirements without ripping apart and replacing the entire FlexPod. So offerings that we have on that is we're able to manage maintenance contracts through our portal, My Maintenance. This allows you to track your maintenance from Cisco NetApp and make sure that we're co-terming them together, make sure that you're getting the best bang for your buck for your support. We do here co-term this, and it's for you to log into your portal to see where the maintenance is, when it comes due, and then we can help you generate either Cisco or NetApp quotes or VMware in this case. I'll offer managed service around this. So if you really wanted an on-prem or off-prem solution, but really didn't want to manage the UCS or NetApp storage device, Logicalis is a great offering around this. We manage and support this 20 days, 7 days, 365 days a year through staff of maybe some common issues, and we monitor it, notify you, alert when there's an issue, upgrade firmware when needed, then manage Windows boxes or Linux boxes, open your backup if you need to. Our managed services is very mature. We've been in the business for over 20 years. And looking at this option, especially to reduce your cost of hiring FTEs to manage this solution. Professional services, as I said, we've invested heavily in training our professional services on FlexPod. We do a variety of things. We do our implementations. We do not outsource them to other vendors. And we do that to make sure we're consistent in delivering the application and support to our customers. Upgrades, so if you need some UCS firmware upgrades or VMware, we're well trained and are moving customers today. Integrate with your applications. Performance assessments are all available, an offering from us. As part of this webinar, we are offering a performance assessment. Performance assessment is going to look at your current FlexPod and give you a life cycle of where it sits in the life cycle for support, where it sits in the life cycle for performance, and an idea of what your go-forward plan should be. So if you did, please contact your Logicalis account rep. A process that we have to go through. But once you contact your Logicalis rep, he can handle the process and get certified so you can get a post-sale delivery guy to help you out and look at your system and make sure, one, it's following best practices, make sure it's changed, and I'll get it as life cycle to see when maintenance contracts expire, look at VMware, make sure you're following all the best practices that are out there today. So please contact them if you have any questions about that. This is a assessment tool that we put on site in the VM, able to then gather that information for you. So next steps, we have a performance analysis, the health check if you're interested interested. We manage services offering and a workshop that we could perform to look at your environment to see what it would be maintaining and be able to manage from our side. Interested, we also have a next generation backup session. So this is really a understanding of your environment, what your backup requirements are, and building a solution around your requirements. Cover anything from an IBM standpoint, AIX, IBM iSeries, environment. So if you have that, please give us a call. Said we do all the support renewals, multi-year contracts or single-year contracts through my maintenance. And we offer a very in-depth storage workshop. So depending on what your needs are, if it's all flash or if it's a hybrid solution, or maybe you're looking at doing more object-based storage, we have a shop designed to help our customers their business and their requirements to market for. Thank you guys for joining me. Any questions out there to open?
So anyone has questions, please use the Q&A panel as Jerry described down toward the bottom right-hand corner to enter your question. One early question that's come through, how does support work on the FlexPod? Who do I call?
Well, that question is something we always talk about. So there's a couple options that we have with FlexPod. We do have the ability to have a single number reach customer wants, so you have one number to call, and that will help you work through the Cisco, NetApp, and VMware. They are all together and on site at one location, so they can work together very easily. We also offer the option of having you call the vendor. So if you had a NetApp issue, you could call NetApp direct, and you say you have a FlexPod, they'll create a case for that. And when a case gets created, it actually gets created on the Cisco side and NetApp side and VMware side or Microsoft side, depending on the issue that we're having. All three engineers will work in the back to fix that issue, so they can pass the case back and forth depending on who is active. We've seen this work in person, so I think it's very important for them to know that it's real. Was that a customer we were having an issue with, and we thought it was a NetApp issue to begin with, so we did call NetApp first. And then they were not able to resolve the issue, so they get VMware and Cisco involved. And the customer and I actually sat and drank coffee while the Cisco, VMware, and NetApp guy were on the WebEx looking at the issue to try to resolve this. And that took probably 2 hours, and it was found out that VMware had a bug in their software to create snapshots and released a patch to fix that. But it was nice to see that it actually worked in real life. Thanks.
It's good to have a real-life example. Another question, have a standalone servers and still be a FlexPod?
That's a great question, and I think the benefit of a FlexPod versus a lot of different architectures is it's flexible. To have a standalone Cisco server if you want, so let's say if you have Cisco Voice, have one of their servers, and you want to plug it into the NetApp to run the call manager software from, that is fully supported. So it's fully supported from a physical server side and a virtual server side, which is really nice because, again, it's very, very flexible and will change and work with customers to what their needs are.
Question here is, do I need to maintain a certain firmware version to be considered a FlexPod? So FlexPod, they do certify certain firmware versions that they allow. Validate all the testing, so that way you're not wondering whether or not this firmware version will work with VMware.
hosted in their Cisco validated design, which allows you to feel comfortable when you go to a firmware version or you need to do an upgrade, that it will work with VMware or it will work with NetApp or it will work with UCS. This is a really nice feature that they do all the testing before they release and validate the technology. Thanks.
Question that I'm seeing here, you may have covered earlier, Brad, but if someone's not sure who their rep is, who do they contact?
If you're on the call and you're not sure who your Logicalis account rep is, feel free to reach out to me. We'll be glad to direct that to your account rep. I'm sure that everybody has my contact information, which I don't think we shared, so I will give you my email address. It is brad.bailey, B-A-I-L-I-E, at us.logicalis.com. Yours to the appropriate rep, and maybe they can contact you.
If you have any additional questions, I'd like to thank everyone for joining us for this Logicalis Insights webinar. It will be made available online soon after this so that if there's someone else in your organization that you think could benefit from the webinar, you can direct them to it. Thank you again, and have a good afternoon.